In the small but lively village of Ogwashi, where the sun blazed like a stubborn debtor refusing to pay, there lived a man named Oki. But for his extraordinary ability to attract misfortune, if rain was falling, Oki's roof would leak the most. If the village football team won, Oki's radio would be the only one that stopped working before the final whistle. Even his goat, a stubborn creature named Chief, had a habit of escaping and embarrassing him in public. One morning, after tripping over his own slippers and spilling hot pap on himself, Oki sighed deeply and declared, "Today will be different." He had a plan, a grand one. He was finally going to sell Chief at the market and use the money to start a small business selling roasted plantain and ground nuts. He tied Chief with a strong rope and began the journey to the bustling Ogwashi market. But, as fate would have it, Chief saw a basket of fresh cassava peels and bolted. Just as Oki reached the marketplace, the goat ran like a politician avoiding debt collectors, pulling Oki along with him. Before Oki could react, he was on the ground, being dragged through the market like a sack of old yams. People burst into laughter. Mama and Kechi, the tomato seller, clapped her hands and said, "Oki, are you training for a new sport?" Oki groaned, dusted himself off. He wanted to be angry, and wiped the mud from his face. But when he saw his own reflection in a vendor's metal pot, to curse his misfortunes, his face smeared with dust, his trousers torn, and Chief chewing on someone's yam, he burst into laughter. "If I don't laugh, who will?" Oki said, shaking his head. Still determined, he retrieved Chief and tied him properly this time. But as he tried to negotiate with a buyer, Chief somehow freed himself again, this time running straight into the village chief's compound, where a wedding ceremony was taking place. Before anyone could stop him, Chief had knocked over the bride's cake and sent guests scattering like chickens avoiding a hungry hawk. Oki ran after him, panting, but he couldn't stop laughing. He shouted, "This goat must have been a comedian in his past life." Instead of punishing him, he laughed so hard that he declared, "Anyone who can laugh even in the face of disaster deserves a reward." He handed Oki a small bag of coins and said, "Start your business, my friend, and keep your goat away from my compound." Oki bowed gratefully, grabbed Chief, and walked home with a broad smile. That day, he learned something valuable. Life would always throw obstacles in his way, but as long as he could laugh, he would never be truly defeated. And so, with his mischievous goat by his side, Oki started his plantain business. Every time things went wrong, he would remember his own words, "No matter how many times you fall, if you can still laugh, you haven't lost." The end. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe.